Welcome again to Inverness in the Spotlight. I'm Bill Cato, President-elect of the Inverness Old Town Association, and along with me is Doug LaBelle, Executive Director of IOTA, and also the head for the Rotary District of the Rotary Youth Exchange Program. And Doug, I understand you're going to tell us a little bit about the program and the benefits that it gives to some of our youth in this county if they choose to participate.
Well, and that's true. I'm actually serving as the Rotary Youth Exchange Chairman for District 6950, which is Pinellas, Pasco, Hernando, and Citrus. What we're going to talk about is Citrus County. We have 3 students here that are here from overseas. They're here for 10 to 12 months. They have to go to high school. And we have one in Lecanto, one in Crystal River, and one in Citrus High School. And they are from Peru, Brazil, and the Netherlands. And I have become the proud papa of a 17-year-old young lady from the Netherlands this week because her initial host family had some illness issues, and so my wife and I decided to step in and fulfill that first family obligation. And I will say this, it's very interesting. My 40-year-old daughter told me the other day, she said, "Dad, it's like me coming back home again, isn't it?" I said,
Possibly.
"Well."
I mean, although even younger, that generation, having just gone through that generation myself, it's a unique experience to relive again.
And I had supplied the studio with some pictures of Jessica, and Jessica Kempsteg is her name, and her exploits since she's been here, which it's amazing the people in the community that have stepped forward to provide her opportunities. Here she is at the Cooter Fest. She's on the right. And she had that outfit belonged to Nicole Negron, who is Charlie Richards' stepdaughter. And it's I Dream of Jeannie. You remember the I Dream of Jeannie? And so they loaned that to her. She Halloween, they don't have Halloween in Holland.
Right.
So, and her friend on the right that's saluting, that's a friend of hers from school, Brittany, that she said, "Well, if I have to get up there, you come on." They won first and third prize. So she's very proud of that. And there she is showing off her trophy. The next picture, let's see what we got. Oh, this is interesting. I said, I picked her up from school and I said, "I have to do errands." She said, "What is that?" And I explained to her. And she said, "I'll do the errands with you instead of going home and just doing my blog or whatever." So I went by the post office. And she went in the post office. She said, "Isn't this fascinating?" And I said, "Well, what's fascinating about a post office?" She said, "Well, where we are from is just a little window, and that's all you get to see. You don't have all these boxes." And this is Jim Neal from the Rotary, a local attorney. That's his wife. And she is noted at the post office in Inverness for getting everybody to dress up. And so this is her Halloween outfit. And she also gives out candy from her window. And so Jessica was just fascinated it causes us to look at things differently too. Sure. Because we were kind of breezed through life. This Rotary blazer that she has, every Rotary Exchange student, and there are 75 in the state right now, 8 in my district, they all have those blue blazers, and they collect these pins from the things they're doing while they're here. And they exchange pins with each other because they're from 32 different countries. And when Jessica did her presentation and mentioned that at Rotary, Judge Patricia Thomas, who happens to be a Rotarian, decided to take off a pin that she had and to give it to her to put on her blue blazer. And that kind of really brought on another thing with Judge Thomas. She called me the next day and she said, "I have a very special pin I'd like to get to her because she's a special young lady." And that gold pin that Jessica's pointing to is the Justice is Blind with the scales. Mm-hmm. It's a gold pin, and it was given to Judge Thomas by when I guess she was first named as a judge. Here, Judge Thomas took her on a tour of the entire courthouse, the holding cells and everything, let her put on one of her black robes and hold her gavel and sit up there behind her bench and explain to her how the court system worked, which the young lady is just like a little sponge, you know. So that was very interesting. And then she has made it a habit of going to speak to other Rotary clubs. This happens to be Sugar Mill Woods over at the Sugar Mill Woods Clubhouse. she goes and she gives her 15-minute presentation on her home and homeland, and answers questions about the food and about the weather and sports and all those kind of things. So it's a great opportunity for her to kind of spread the wealth around. Of course, she had to go to the historic courthouse in downtown Inverness, and none other than Elvis who happened to be there that
He
night.
hadn't left the building that
Yeah,
day.
she was there actually for the jazz concerts
Right.
that we hold, and so she had to have her Elvis picture to send back home, and she finds fascination in virtually anything. This is another one of our 8 students. This young lady, Maria Kotova, is from Moscow, Russia. She's currently in Tarpon Springs area, and here she is at the Homosassa Resort, and she is having her first taste of alligator tail, because it's not a big thing on the menu over
really big in
in
Russia.
Moscow.
Yeah.
But she was fascinated by it. Now all the other youth exchange students want to try alligator, and of course she told them it was like chicken.
Naturally.
Then 4 Rotarians from the 4 counties that we're in, that are my district, got together, and they each have 25-foot boats, and they took all the 8 students that I'm hosting here now, plus a couple of their host brothers and sisters, and they took them fishing for the day off Anclote Key, and none of them really knew how to use a fishing pole or anything, but we were on the beach at Anclote, and we set up a tent and we cooked burgers, and they had a fantastic time. So there's lots of opportunities, and they look for these opportunities. I think Jessica just went, and we may have a picture of Joe Brannon giving some tickets to Jessica for the football game this weekend at Vanderbilt.
Okay.
Vanderbilt. They played
That they
this
just
weekend.
played, yeah.
And
Well,
so she went up for the game, and she told me, she said, I understand the Gators have been losing some games, but because I went, I brought them good luck, and they won.
They won, that's it.
So,
Well, along with that, though, there are opportunities for children in our community to go over and have similar experiences overseas. are
it's
there
a
not?
1-for-1. We have 8 students here now. We can send 8 students overseas. We'll bring in next August 10 students. So we have an opportunity right now for 10 students from our 4 counties to go overseas, especially we're interviewing a week from this coming Sunday. And you can still get applications in by this Friday and meet the deadline to be able to look at going overseas and spending a year in high school in Taiwan or in Japan or in Thailand or in Australia. But great opportunities.
Thank you very much, Doug, for telling us about this, and please stay tuned for another episode of Inverness on the Spotlight.